Back from the brink. Just hours before today's potentially disastrous deadline, Eurozone finance ministers strike a deal for Cyprus. It is a $13 billion bailout plan, saving the country from certain financial collapse.
It's been quite a night, hasn't it?
It has been quite an evening.
That's IMF chief Christine Lagarde smiling as she left the talks this morning, finding agreement with the Cypriot president, the heads of the EU and the European Central Bank. Today's deal sees Cyprus avoid bankruptcy and stops a trickle-down of financial turmoil, contagion as we call it, from spreading across Europe. But not everyone is happy. The wealthiest depositors at the Bank of Cyprus stand to lose some 30% on their holdings, and the island's second biggest bank will close. Susan Ormiston has more details of the deal from London.
You might expect relief this morning in Cyprus, but the deal reached early this morning in Brussels after a long meeting that went deep into the night is still sowing some deep concern across the Eurozone. So first, the deal. It was a meeting of Eurozone finance ministers. They had a deadline of this morning, and they came up with a deal of a 10 billion euro bailout for Cyprus. What it means effectively is that savers in Cyprus with deposits of less than 100,000 euros will be spared. You remember last week they were going to have to pay about 9.9% on that back to save the country. Now they'll be spared, but it is thought that there will be heavy losses, up to 30%. Inflicted on the deposits of the wealthy, that is, people who have more than 100,000 euros in the banks in Cyprus. Laiki, or the Cyprus Popular Bank, is going to be closed, with its good assets transferred to the Bank of Cyprus, the country's biggest bank, and savers will suffer big losses from both those bank restructurings. It means that the Cypriot economy won't collapse, and it won't be the first country to be forced out of the Eurozone, and that is good news. And that is why the Cypriot finance minister is calling this a win.
I believe we have achieved the best possible outcome under the circumstances.
He is really throwing the best possible light on this situation, because already there are questions about savings in other countries like Italy or Spain. Worried investors are looking at Cyprus and saying, could this happen to us if the euro crisis deepens here? Will this plan come to my country as well? Some are also interpreting this as a further blow to the viability of the euro, and still others are trying to reassure Europeans that Cyprus was a one-off case, where the size of its banking sector was nearly 7 times greater than its GDP, and that's why it got in so much trouble.